Hey guys, it's Dr. Pete, founder of StressRx.com. Today I'm excited to share with you a revolutionary secret to overcome anxiety, depression, and fear in only 7 days or less. Yes, 7 days or less. You say, well, Dr. Pete, I've been dealing with this for years and years and years. I've gone to doctor after doctor, taken medications, tweaked my diet to no avail. Well, let me encourage you that today we're going to uncover the true culprit in debilitating anxiety and fear and give you a simple, practical solution that you can incorporate today to get on the road to a happy and healthy life. I've had the distinct privilege of serving people from all over the world over the last 15 years. In fact, now they total over 1 million patient visits. People that come in with cancer and heart disease, depression, anxiety, and those that they've been everywhere. And they're more confused than ever when they come into the office. One of the greatest passions I have is to uncover the true culprit, give a person hope, and get them moving in the right direction. And one of those things I've been studying for a number of years are what are called adaptogenic herbs, or what Hollywood is now raving over called adaptogens. Adaptogens are really something that have been around forever, okay? But just now they're getting a lot of press, not only in the media, but in the medical profession, and even celebrities are now going crazy over this 5,000-year-old super herb called adaptogens. Now, adaptogens are unique. They're really unique in their ability to affect what's called the HPA axis in the brain. You say, well, Dr. B, what's the HPA axis? Well, I'm glad you asked. The HPA axis is what the body uses and the brain uses to take in the stress from your environment and really process all the things that you're faced with on a regular basis. From physical stress, car accidents, falls, whiplash injuries, or maybe a sedentary lifestyle. Chemical stresses, the food that you eat, the air that you breathe, as well as emotional stresses. And when stress affects you, no matter what form it comes in, it actually addresses and goes to the HPA axis first. Why? Because that's what the body uses to deal with the environment that we live with on a regular basis. So let's explain briefly. Stress, when it affects us, affects the hypothalamus, which is the H in the HPA axis. The hypothalamus gathers all the information, sends a message to the pituitary, which sends a message to the adrenal glands, and the adrenal glands release the stress hormones, cortisol, norepinephrine, and epinephrine to put the body in what's called a fight or flight response. So for instance, if we're at a zoo and a tiger got out, well, we'd call that the epitome of a stressful situation. The hypothalamus sends a message to the pituitary, to the adrenal glands, and all of a sudden they release cortisol, and we're in a fight or flight response. Why? Because we need to get away from the tiger. But when they get the tiger back in the cage, the adrenal glands send a message to the pituitary back to the hypothalamus to tell the brain that, hey, everything's okay. It's time to come back to homeostasis and rest. At homeostasis and rest, that's the anti-stress. That's where the body is the most resilient. In fact, your body works most effectively at homeostasis and rest. Well, here's where the problem comes in. If the body ever adapts physiologically into a fight or flight response, but doesn't restore itself to homeostasis and rest, we got a serious problem. Cancer research says that's a negative feedback loop that's no longer working effectively. Most doctors right now, and new scientific and medical research says, it's called an HPA axis dysfunction. In fact, if you look at the literature, everything from heart disease to cancer to depression to inflammatory issues and degenerative issues, they say are an HPA axis dysfunction, which means the body went into a fight or flight response and never recovered to homeostasis and rest. When it comes to anxiety and fear and depression, it's an HPA axis dysfunction. So the body adapted physiologically, but it never recovered effectively. As a result, it affects the chemistry of your body and really is going to affect your mood, depression, and all these things that literally debilitate people and millions of people around the world each and every day. That's why I've been studying adaptogens, because adaptogens are unique because they're proven to affect the HPA axis of the brain more than anything else on the planet to restore this dysfunction and restore the body to homeostasis and rest. In fact, there's 3 adaptogens that I like the most. They're what are called cordyceps, which is a mushroom or a fungus that's proven very effective in reducing the stress hormone cortisol and bringing the body back to homeostasis and rest. Number 2, I like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a super herb that will not only affect everything from thyroid levels to hormonal imbalances to sex hormones, but it helps reduce the effects of crippling anxiety. Number 3 is what's called rhodiola. I love rhodiola because it's great for athletes. It's great for those that like to work out. It helps with endurance. It helps with concentration and really helps your body deal with the stressors of this life. I'm so passionate about these 3 herbs that I've really studied for years and years and reached out to some of the top formulators and scientists on the planet to say, hey, how can we put these 3 super herbs in one package so that we can give people what they need to restore the HPA axis in the brain? And what we created was called Stress RX. In fact, I created Stress RX initially for my patients because I wanted something for them to use to get at the root of the true problem. Anxiety actually wasn't the culprit, it was the effect, it was the oil light on the car that said you had a more serious issue. Well, what was the issue? HPA axis dysfunction. So we created a product called Stress RX to restore this dysfunction to get a person on the road to a happy and healthy life. But I'm going to be honest with you, we were quite amazed at all the testimonies we began to get in from all over the world. In fact, we gave it to our patients and they had such results that they gave it to their friends and family, and now literally it's all over the place. I have testimony after testimony of people coming in. Recently, I got a testimony from a lady. She's a mom of 3 boys. Her name's Tisha. She said, I struggled with feeling completely overwhelmed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon trying to finish up work, get everyone fed and be the ballpark, just be a mom and a wife. It was affecting my relationship with my kids and my husband. Dr. Pete, I feel so much better now that I use Stress RX. My kids and my husband's notice a huge difference. My attitude and level of joy has increased while trying to be a super mom, and honestly, I sleep like a baby. In fact, we have testimony after testimony of law students and professional athletes and military personnel dealing with PTSD. We have celebrities now using Stress RX with such huge results. Why? Because it helps restore this negative feedback loop to the brain to bring that body to a peaceful calm, make the body resilient once again. I'm so passionate about it that I want to give you the opportunity to begin to use this powerful adaptogenic blend of 3 adaptogens, ashwagandha, cordyceps, and rhodiola, so that you too can get on the road to a happy and healthy life in our product called Stress RX.